welcome to today's class. We will be integrating pranayama, meditation, and asana today. I invite you to use a block and find a place where you feel most excited to drop into your practice. We'll begin by laying on our backs. Settling into some stillness. Placing your feet on the edges of your mat and letting your knees fall in towards your midline for a more restorative asana. If you feel safe, maybe gently fluttering your eyes shut and dropping in to your body, letting the tenseness in your shoulders fall into the ground, relaxing the space between your eyebrows, your jaw, simply allowing yourself to arrive here and now. Maybe placing your hand on your lower belly and one in your heart space. Sensing into the quality of your breath. Noticing where the rise and the fall occurs. Perhaps it's high up in your chest, or dancing low in your belly, allowing the day to settle and to just be here, noticing your breath. We will begin to shift our focus into pranayama of the diaphragmatic breath. We'll inhale on the count of 4, hold at the top of our inhale, exhale for 4, and hold at the bottom of our exhale. Remaining still in your posture on your back, sensing a very full, deep belly breath. Inhale, exaggerating your next exhale. And we will begin on a count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Now on your own, Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. On the next round of breath, find your own rhythm. And on your next exhale, dropping the rhythmic breath practice and allowing your breath to arise naturally. Noticing if it shifted back or if it remains deep in your diaphragm. Slowly turning onto one side, pressing yourself up and meeting in child's pose, pressing the mat away with our hands and sinking our hips into the earth. Noticing the quality of sensation in your hips. And on the inhale, we'll walk our hands off our mat to the right, feeling a wonderful stretch in our left side body. We'll be here for one more breath. Deepening into the stretch on your exhale. And on your next inhale, slightly rising, slowly walking your hands back through center, resetting into wide-legged child's pose before walking your hands over to the left and feeling the stretch in your right side body. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to deepen into the stretch. On your next inhale, walking your hands back through center, shifting your weight and pressing up into tabletop position. Shoulders in alignment with your wrists and your hips. Your knees hip width apart. We will move with our breath and slowly flow through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling to arch the spine and fan it down towards the mat, and exhaling to round the spine, waking up the spine for our practice. It's always an invitation to deepen your cat-cow, maybe flowing all the way back to child's pose and dramatically curving right back up to cat, to cow. Rounding the spine, moving through your body in whatever way you feel called to. And after your next round, finding tabletop again, shifting your weight so ever so slightly into your left hand and rising in the right, threading the needle through the left hand and coming onto your right shoulder, staying square in your hips. And if you would like to deepen your stretch, walking your left hand forward or binding it behind your right hip, whichever feels more sensational. And on your next inhale, planting your left hand back down to frame your shoulder and rising with your right arm again, opening up and planting it back down to repeat on the left side, slowly rising the left hand up, opening the side body and threading the needle under your right arm, walking the right arm out to deepen your stretch. And noticing the quality of breath in this subtle twist. Feeling the sensation, opening your shoulders, on your next inhale, moving, opening back up, and exhaling, meeting in tabletop again. We'll slowly walk our way up to the front of our mats, rising and meeting our hands through heart center. Shifting your hands down to meet your sides, your stance, hip width apart, strong and stable like a mountain. Using this stillness as an opportunity to connect with gratitude for yourself, for showing up today in your practice, on your mat, for the benefit of your inner being and the entire world. setting an intention for today's practice and letting that be within your heart center and honoring that intention with today's practice. We'll inhale, rising our arms above head, meeting the hands through heart center and diving forward to Uttanasana, forward fold. Slowly rising flat back to Ardha Uttanasana and flowing back down to forward fold. Grabbing the opposite arms, elbow for ragdoll. Maybe having generous bend to your knees to protect the hamstrings. Pedaling in and out. Waking your body up to begin to prepare for asana. Settling back into forward fold. Again, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back, lowering down, and on your inhale, rising all the way up, hands through heart center, feeling, connecting with that intention, shining the heart space forward, and tapping into the energy that is cultivating in your body with your breath. We'll inhale to rise and exhale, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, and a slow cobra, gently rising from the T5, the spine curving, and your shoulders rolling down your back. Exhaling down, and inhaling through your knees and pushing back and up into downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Perhaps pedaling out, having a generous bend to your knees, pushing your hands into the earth, rotating through the shoulders. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. Rising the hips to the sky. On your next inhale, looking forward between your hands and walking to the front of your mat. Meeting in forward fold, and slowly rising vertebrae by vertebrae to stand, hands through heart center, and meeting in mountain pose at the top of our mats. Inhale, rising. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling to Ardha Uttanasana. And planting our hands to frame our feet. We'll step our right foot back, lower onto our knee. And rise in lunge. And on our exhale, back to framing the feet, meeting the feet back in plank position and lowering knees, chest, chin, keeping our elbows at a 90-degree angle, rising in cobra on the inhale, and exhaling to push back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, looking forward, stepping, hopping or floating to the front of the mat, and slowly rising to meet your hands to heart center. Inhaling to rise, exhaling swan dive forward, inhaling flat back, exhaling, framing the feet again, this time stepping your left foot back, lowering onto the knee, and once you've found your balance, rising into half lunge, squaring the hips forward to the front of the mat, slightly rotating the front right knee outward, and finding your breath, the gentle arch to your back, lengthening, and on your exhale, framing the foot, coming back, meeting in plank position, and lowering knees, chest, chin, inhaling to cobra, exhaling, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. For 5 breaths, straightening the knees this time and pressing your heels into the earth, noticing the stretch in your hamstrings, pressing away through your fingertips. On your next inhale, looking forward, meeting your hands at the top of your mat, and rising to meet your hands through heart center, connecting with that intention and noticing your breath, the quality of your breath. Has it changed and shifted? We will rise again on your inhale and exhaling, hands through heart center, swan dive forward to Uttanasana, inhaling halfway, fold, flat back, exhaling, back down. This time we will step our right foot back to crescent lunge. Once you've established your front and back foot, slowly rising. Your feet are 4 to 5 feet apart. The front leg on its own plane from the back. You don't want to be walking a tight line. Bending the front left knee with your knee over your ankle and engaging in the back leg on your toes, rising and opening up to Virabhadrasana 2 with an outward rotation of your front left leg and Switching your weight to the knife edge of your back foot, opening up the side of your right body. Resting your hands, one in front and one in back, allowing the shoulders to rise dramatically so as to fall down the spine. And engaging in your lower belly. Inhaling for side angle pose, planting your left arm on your knee, or using a block to bring the earth closer to you, framing it on the outside of your front foot, still engaged in your back foot, doing an outward rotation. Finding your breath here. And creating a line from the knife edge of your back foot, your right foot, through the top, externally rotating, letting the heart shine forward. It's really easy to lose engagement in your back leg here. Make sure to push into the earth. And on your next exhale, rising and exalting your warrior. Sinking deeper into your front foot. And cartwheeling your hands down on your next exhale. Going back to plank position and chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin down. Pressing up for cobra on your inhale. And pressing back into downward facing dog, dramatically allowing the hips to point up towards the sky and pressing down into the earth with your heels. On your next inhale, looking forward, hopping, stepping, or jumping to the front of your mat, meeting and forward fold. And on your next inhale, rising, bringing hands to heart center, and we'll flow again on the left side, inhaling to rise, exhaling, forward fold, and flat back. Exhaling, stepping the left foot back now. We'll to 4 to 5 feet behind you, not on a tight line, so your front and back foot are on different planes. Once you have established pushing into the earth with your right foot, knee over ankle, slowly rising, squaring the hips to the front in crescent, sinking in a little bit deeper, and on your next breath, opening up into Virabhadrasana 2, keeping the knee over the right ankle, exaggerating a lift of your shoulders and allowing them to relax down the spine. Feeling sensation in your front right quad. Noticing where the mind attempts to go when the flow becomes intense. Again, inhaling and exhaling to find side angle pose, shining the heart forward, rotating the left hip open, and pushing through both sides of the leg. to rise into warrior two again. And exalting your warrior, staying bent in your front knee, dropping in lower on your exhales. Making sure not to arch your spine and push your glutes back, but to maintain in alignment. And cartwheeling your hands to frame your right foot, pushing back into plank. And on your exhale, lowering knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling for upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling to push back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Inhaling to look forward, hopping, stepping, or floating to the front of your mat. And on your inhale, rising to meet your hands through heart center. We'll flow, inhaling to rise, coming to forward fold, halfway lift, flat back. Lowering down, stepping the right foot back, rising on the inhale to crescent, and exhaling to open to warrior two. In, we'll be here for 2 breaths. On your exhale, falling into extended side angle option to bind here. Bringing your front left arm underneath and allowing your top arm underneath, staying engaged in your front leg, rotating outward, and your back leg rotating the other way, and your heart shining forward. Not sinking into your shoulders, but opening up. On your next inhale, rising back to warrior two and flowing into exalted warrior. Inhaling, cartwheeling the hands to frame the front foot, pushing back to plank position and chaturanga. Rising on the inhale and pushing back to downward dog. Kicking the right foot up, opening the dog, taking a few circles, opening the hip socket, pressing up, building some heat by bringing the knee to the right elbow, sending it back, knee to the opposite elbow, sending it back. And finally, bringing your knee forward, planting it down on the mat, shifting your right knee forward towards your right hand and settling into pigeon. Sinking the hips down into the mat. On your exhale, lowering down. Great time to use your block to bring the earth closer to you. We'll be here for 5 breaths. being in the stillness. Slowly walking your hands back up and pressing into the earth, sending your right leg back into opening the dog again, planting your foot down, settling back into downward dog. On your next inhale, looking forward and meeting at the top of the mat. Inhaling to rise and exhaling the hands through heart center. One last flow on the left side. Inhaling to rise, exhaling the hands down through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, left foot stepping back 4 to 5 feet from the front foot. Rising through to crescent lunge before falling into warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, setting up, making sure the action is in outwardly engaging your front knee. And on your next breath, inhaling to extended side angle pose, maybe using your block to bring the earth closer to you, or binding on this side as well, not sinking into the shoulders, but shining the heart forward. Pressing the earth away, rising on your inhale back to warrior 2, and on your exhale, exalting your warrior. Inhaling to cartwheel, your hands meeting, framing your front foot, sending it back to plank position, and your chaturanga, pushing up through on the inhale to cobra, allowing the shoulders to rest down the spine, and on your exhale, sending your hips back to downward facing dog. Rising, opening the dog on the left side, doing a few rounds, rotations to open up the left hip socket, and bringing your left knee forward to meet your left elbow, building the heat, sending it back, and your left knee to your opposite elbow, sending it back, and on your next inhale, bringing it forward, planting your left shin to the front of your mat and allowing yourself to sink into your hips, your left knee forward, and your right foot towards your right hip. For pigeon, on your next breath, settling into some stillness, lowering all the way down to the earth. Slowly rising, planting the hands into the earth and pushing back to our final downward dog of today's practice. We'll be here for 5 breaths. On your next inhale, looking forward, meeting at the top of our mats, and slowly rising to meet your hands to heart center, feeling that spirit of your intention you set at the beginning of today's class. Noticing the quality of your breath. And we'll slowly settle down into the earth, knitting on our backs once more. Bringing the knees together, planting the feet into the earth, and raising our right leg high into the sky and planting it over our left knee. In figure 4, slowly rising your left leg off the earth and grabbing either the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin to deepen into the hip opener. Deepening into the stretch on each exhale, making sure your shoulders are rounded and down, firmly planted into the earth. Releasing the bind, lowering your left leg onto the ground, and your right leg back into the sky before planting it down, and doing the same on the opposite side, sending the left leg to the sky, allowing it to fall on your right knee cap, and binding into figure 4. Planting your shoulders into the earth. And feeling the sensation deepen on each exhale. Slowing down, lowering the right leg back onto your mat, sending the left leg into the sky, and planting it back down onto the earth. Feeling into your body and noticing if there are any asanas we did not include in today's class that you might want to integrate before resting in our final asana, shavasana. Taking these last few breaths to honor whatever movement you need before stillness. And on your next exhale, releasing whichever asana you found yourself in, and preparing for our final rest of Shavasana, dropping into the earth on our backs, perhaps using blocks or props to support your body if you have any injuries or pain, sore spots. Allowing the feet to relax and splay open, your shoulders to roll down your spine, and your palms facing upward to the sky. Allowing the muscles in your face to relax. The practice to subside and allowing yourself to drop into the stillness and simply be. entering the field of awareness of your body, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes before rolling over onto the side of your body, using your arm as pillow and keeping your eyes shut. Finding stillness again. Planting your hand onto the earth and slowly pushing into the ground and rising, meeting in a seated posture. Noticing the sounds around you, the feeling of the earth supporting you beneath, and the weight of your body, the warmth, and the vow to protect and serve you unconditionally. Connecting with the intention you set at the beginning of practice, and valuing yourself and your body for providing you with this thorough practice to explore. Feeling into the quality of your breath, rising and falling, allowing all other thoughts to subside and drawing in your attention on the breath. Becoming the breath, the flow, the dance, does that arise indifference to I-ness? Contemplating I-ness. What it means to be you. And letting that settle to return to the breath. And noticing the space between the breath and now, allowing your awareness to ripple out to all sensations. With the support of the breath. Gently fluttering the eyes open, meeting your hands at heart center, and bowing in gratitude to yourself, to the wisdom of this beautiful practice. And to the benefit of all beings. Thank you.